The brothers were riding their bikes last night in Salem County on County Route 551 in Oldmans Township, and that's when police say they were struck and killed by a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Police arrested the driver of that Jeep, Sean Higgins. He's been charged in the deaths of both brothers. Police say Higgins failed a field sobriety test. The Gaudreau brothers played high school hockey at Gloucester Catholic High School in Gloucester City, Camden County. This family tragedy happened on the day before their sister was getting married. We have team coverage tonight. NBC 10's Yukari Nakayama is following the investigation.
But we begin with NBC 10's Siobhan McGurl talking to people who knew the brother. Siobhan.
Yeah, Jackie, it's such a tragic loss. Most people know Johnny and Maddie for their skills on the ice, but the people we met today, they talked about their hearts, their humility, and how they would always go out of the way to help others. People all day today have been adding to this makeshift memorial. It is clearly a loss that is hitting hard for so many in South Jersey. From the quiet rink at Hollydale Ice Arena to the empty halls of Gloucester Catholic High School, a heaviness hung in the air as people mourned an unspeakable loss. Beloved brothers who gave so much, taken on the eve of their sister's wedding. NHL star Johnny Gaudreau and hockey coach Matthew Gaudreau, just 31 and 29.
Oh, it's more than just hockey, right? They're guys struck down the prime of their lives. Forget about the prime of their athletic careers.
Outside Hollydale, it did not take long for a memorial to start growing. Flowers and hockey sticks. This is where the Gaudreaus really grew up and where they fell in love with the game. They have their dad, Guy, to thank. He had them on the ice in diapers.
As soon as he could get a pair of skates that fit them.
Once on the ice, the brothers never got off. Johnny went on to NHL stardom. Hollydale has his pictures all over.
You know, the fame never really changed, John.
Humble, focused on the game and giving back. Same for his brother, Matty. He followed in his dad's footsteps and took up coaching, a role model for so many.
Just really, honestly, really down to earth, really solid people, you know? It's heartbreaking.
The brothers were graduates of Gloucester Catholic High School, where Johnny's jersey is on display. Johnny and Maddie were beloved at GC. Only 2 grades apart, they even got to play for the Rams alongside each other for a time, with their dad behind the bench as coach. Family was everything to them. The Gaudreaus recently hosted their annual golf tournament, raising money to help other kids attend Gloucester Catholic. Principal Thomas Ichabone Jr. released a statement saying Johnny and Matt were incredible hockey players and students, but even more amazing human beings. Their loss will be felt forever by the entire Gloucester Catholic community.
You know, people just know them as hockey players, you know, but it was a really, really tight family. And it's just a horrible day. In addition to their parents and sisters, Johnny and Maddie both leave behind their wives. Johnny had 2 children, and we just learned that Maddie was expecting a child with his wife in the coming months. The team here at Hollydale tells me they're already looking for ways to honor the brothers. Outside the ice arena, I'm Siobhan McGurl, NBC 10 News. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
And it's just gut-wrenching. Siobhan, thank you so much.
And USA Hockey put out a statement saying our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, whose lives ended way too soon. Words cannot appropriately express the sorrow the hockey community is feeling today. We're also learning more about the series of events that led to their deaths.
And we're learning about the charges the driver is facing. NBC 10's Yukari Nakayama has been following the investigation for us. She is live from Woodstown, Salem County. Yukari?
Yeah, well, Jackie, Tracy, like you mentioned, that driver identified as 43-year-old Sean Higgins. And according to a police complaint, officers say that Higgins admitted to drinking between 5 to 6 beers before getting on the road and striking the Gaudreau brothers. Sean Higgins appeared by video in court today to face 2 counts of vehicular homicide charges. He faces a maximum of 10 years in prison for each count. It was around 8:19 p.m. Thursday night on this narrow stretch of rural road near Pennsville and Stumpy Road when state troopers received a call of a crash. According to police, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau were riding bikes close to a fog lane on the roadway when they were fatally struck by Higgins. A police report says Higgins was trying to drive past 2 cars on the roadway. One of the vehicles, an SUV, merged to the middle of the road to make space for the Gaudreaus. That's when the complaint says Higgins sped up and illegally passed the SUV on the right, striking the bikers. The police report says a trooper noticed Higgins' breath smelled like alcohol. The 43-year-old then allegedly failed a sobriety test. A small memorial now is underway on this roadway.
It's horrible. Yeah, and we're gonna lose a hockey legend, Johnny Hockey.
Wayne Bum made a stop at Pennsville and Stumpy Road to share his condolences. The Gaudreau's father was Bum's coach in high school. This loss is felt deeply. He hopes others think twice before drinking and driving.
If you're drinking, there's Uber. You don't need to drive. What's an extra $20 to go home? It's so sad.
And NBC 10 obtained court records that show Higgins was arrested for a DWI in 2005 in North Carolina. Now, those charges were dismissed when an officer did not show up for court. And currently, Higgins is being held at the Salem County Correctional Facility. His next court date is September 5th. In Salem, New Jersey, Yukari Nakayama, NBC 10 News.
All right, Yukari, thanks.
Be killed. You're charged now with 2 counts of second-degree vehicular homicide. Both of those charges are punishable by a maximum 10 years in New Jersey State Prison. Do you understand that those are the charges to bring you before this court, and those are the potential penalties that you face?
Yes, Your Honor.
At today's hearing, you do have certain rights. Among those rights are the right to be present, and you are in fact present here today in the virtual courtroom. You also have a right to be represented by an attorney, and today you're represented by Mr. Dooley. You additionally have a right to remain silent. Keep in mind anything you say here today may be used against you. Note that while Mr. Dooley is your attorney for today's proceeding, he may or may not be the attorney assigned to represent you as your case proceeds through the court system if you are ultimately still represented by the public defender's office. Have you given any thought at all at this time as to whether you want to continue to be represented by the public defender's office or whether you'll be hiring your own attorney?
I'll be hiring my own attorney in the future, Your Honor.
All right, you may do so. If you do hire your own attorney, he or she will have to enter their appearance with the court and substitute in for the public defender. They will know how to do that. In the meantime, with regard to the charges pending against you, you have a right to apply to certain programs the court has to offer, such as the Recovery Court Program and or the Pretrial Intervention Program. If you're interested and or otherwise eligible for either of those programs, you may make an application with the assistance of your attorney. You furthermore have a right to a hearing as to probable cause. You have a right to have this matter presented to the grand jury for indictment, as well as a trial by jury. You may waive your grand jury presentment rights as well as your jury trial rights. If you waive your right to trial by jury, you'd then be tried by the court. In that instance, a judge such as myself would make a determination as to whether you're guilty or not guilty of these charges. Do you understand all these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have a right to pretrial release. You may not be detained pretrial unless the state files a motion for your pretrial detention and a superior court judge orders that detention. Ms. Harley, it's my understanding the state is seeking pretrial detention?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. And with the holiday, I believe that takes us to next Thursday, September 5th for the detention hearing.
That is correct. So, Mr. Higgins, your detention hearing is going to come back before this court on September the 5th. You'll be brought back to court for a hearing on that day. In the meantime, between now and your court date on Thursday, the state must turn over to your attorney discovery. That's any and all reports or documents in the state's possession which are relevant to their application to detain you, as well as any and all exculpatory evidence must be turned over to your attorney between now and the hearing on the 5th. Now, allow your attorney, Mr. Dooley, who's in for purposes of today's proceeding, just to advise you as to what to expect between now and Thursday's hearing. Mr. Dooley?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Higgins, obviously, as earlier you stated that you plan on getting a private attorney. As for now, until you get a private attorney, we'll be representing you for your detention hearing. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know. One, first off, don't talk to anyone at the jail about your case. It's important to make confidentiality between you and your attorney, regardless if it's me or a private attorney going forward. Keep in mind all jail calls are recorded. So when you're talking on the phone at the jail, just keep that in mind. I wouldn't talk about the case with anyone that isn't your attorney. Additionally, an investigator will come out and see you prior to your court date on Thursday to basically get background information and other information that may be helpful for your detention hearing. And we'll also be waiting to hear whether or not you get an attorney. Again, if not, we would represent you at the detention hearing. Okay?
Thank you. So when I actually do hire an attorney or get an attorney, obviously I have very limited contact with anyone now. I don't have a phone. I can't really reach anybody. How do I get that process started with them?
So, Mr. Higgins, if you're interested in hiring counsel, you need to speak to somebody at the jail, and they can help you facilitate contacting people. If you have family or friends on the outside who are willing to assist you in doing that, you may be able to reach out to them in order to get that done, okay?
Understood.
All right. At this time, we're going to excuse you from court today. We'll see you back in court on Thursday.
So I'm here until Thursday?
Yes, sir. Once the state files a motion for your pretrial detention, the statutes and court rules require me to hold you over for a minimum 72 hours before your hearing. Because we have a weekend and we have a Monday holiday, 72 hours becomes Thursday. Any other questions?
Not this time, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. You are excused for today.